Today I'll explain how to explain to people what do you love so much about trains and how to explain, because here's something that I get stumped on personally is explaining people new to trains and having to tell them, because a lot of people that don't know about trains think there's not much to it, but in reality there's so much to it, more than usually anyone can really expect. So, what do you like about it? Is it the manifest freight? Is it weird looking signals like this? Is it crossings, grain trains? Is it tankers, tank car trains? Is it intermodal distribution centers, which my favorite is intermodal? Or is it yards and looking at cantilevers and signals and all this other stuff? Or is it but here's something that I and a lot of other people realize. You spend a lot of time looking at empty track, just waiting for a train, and you notice the weird stuff about the rails and stuff. Or is it the SD40-2? I'm kidding. No, it's probably just the SD70 Mac rebuilds. But look, here is all of CSX's rail network and major terminals like Tampa, Jacksonville, New Orleans, Mobile, Waycross especially, Charleston, Hamlet, Rocky Mount, Richmond, Greenwich, Montreal is a customer, Buffalo, Cleveland, Columbus especially, Cincinnati, Chicago, and Birmingham are some of the biggest places. Or, here's the thing, U.S. Rail Lines, by ownership, we have the largest rail network in the whole world. The main one that takes up the country is BNSF, Burlington Northern Santa Fe. They have a lot of states. They have Texas, New Mexico, Arkansas, the Four Corner states, Colorado, Nevada, California, Oregon, Washington, Idaho. No, they don't. No, they do have Idaho. I'm done. Okay. South Dakota, North Dakota, Wyoming, which surprisingly they actually have a railroad. And then you have Union Pacific that takes up everything on the west side of the coast. They have, see that black line that goes from Louisiana up? Count that as the middle. The green and blue is Norfolk Southern and CSX. And you don't notice a lot of purple. You don't notice much Amtrak. The priority stuff around here is BNSF and pretty much Norfolk Southern, kind of. So, it's really a big change. Or is it heritage units? I mean, everybody loves you a good heritage unit, the Seaboard system. Or is it the first responder engines? Well, here's what I explain to people about trains. Well, you gotta start with the basics. Begin by explaining a connected series of rail cars and how they run of transporting goods or passengers from place to place with infrastructure worldwide. This is an optional one. History. Provide a brief overview of the history of trains, highlighting key milestones such as the inventions of steam engines and the early development of the railroad. Types of trains. Explain that there are different types of trains designed for various proposals, like passenger trains, freight trains, high-speed commuter trains, and subway/metro systems. And then describe the basic compounds of a train, such as locomotive engines, rail cars or carriages, whatever you want to call them, couplers, wheels, brakes, axles. Touch up on specialized components like photography and photographs for electrical and electricity for electric trains or just diesel engines. Like right here, that's a standard cab. I'm pretty sure. I'm not and I know I'm probably wrong. Just I don't know my engines very well. That's all I'm gonna say. Like you could have like what is like you could do how do trains work simply the just explain how trains operate, like and phrase that trains run on tracks powered by engines and sometimes steam engines. Those are rare though. Diesel or electric power trains run on engine pulls or pushes the rail. Well, usually it's pull, you know. And how brakes, because brakes are actually in the axle. They bridge the rail, and if they kind of push down. Don't quote me on this, but they kind of push down, and they will go. Okay. So, what are highlights of trains, such as their efficiency in transporting large tons of goods around the world, and are they good for our environment? Well, not really. Well, diesel engines, because it kind of just pollutes the air, but honestly, the air is already kind of just polluted nowadays, so I ain't gonna get into all that, but like how efficient are they? Like some of the top priority trains are intermodal and usually UPS, definitely UPS trailers, any type of intermodal stuff, peak season stuff. Yep, hotshot trains. And then you could say safety. Safety measures are within trains, like EOTs, which is the flashing, blinking red light on the back, to ensure safety on these trains. So, it'll read to the head end what's going on the very bottom, like distributed power engines. Another safety thing that you could say are cantilevers. The reason they are actually there for the most part usually is because, well, what if there's say a giant marsh, or I don't even know, just say there's something that causes something there, so there can't be a signal installation there, so they have to put a cantilever over it, or they have to do it over multiple tracks, because that would be a nightmare if they tried to put signals in. So you could also say modern development, like train operations normally. Like freight trains don't have schedules, but IO38 gets here at about 5 o'clock every night, or M492 gets here about 11:30 to 1 o'clock every day, and other trains get here at other times. So there sometimes how IO38 comes through at 5 every night. Sometimes it can be late as midnight or even the next morning due to issues. It's a 49-hour run, I'm pretty sure, from Jax to Charlotte. But also you could say the impact on society. What people fail to realize with trains is that they transport daily items. Say water. So say, how do you think it gets there? I mean, trucks, yeah, but the thing is, a lot of it, what you don't notice, a lot of normal items, like say full thing of drinks, or maybe even beds, or homes sometimes. Okay, maybe not homes, but normal day-to-day items that you'll have, like desks, maybe even keyboards, are transported by train to places. But trains can't just, I feel like some people, I know, common sense is not so common apparently, because some people think that trains can just go into any random business. There has to be rail. You can't just fly right off the track. Okay, this is off topic, but I heard the stupidest train thing ever. They said it was a derailment. It was a coal train and I think a tanker train near it's right off the Mississippi River too, and they said, "Why didn't you steer it better?" And the conductor's like, "Yeah, this inspector has never ever does not know anything about trains. You can't steer it. You just throttle it and hope for the best." So, yeah, but like, their elements are like crossing signals. I just went over this in my last video, so I'm not going to get into it, but like what activates them and stuff, or like how do they ride on rails? The axles bridge the rail. It's like, think of the road, think of a car as a train, and then think of the road as the rails. You can't just drive off the road. I mean, well, sometimes, but you can't drive off the road. You have to be on the road, or the track in this case. So, but that is basically just explain components of trains, how they work, how they move, the safety, the basics, anything that'll take under 11 minutes and 60 seconds, or 11 minutes and 50 seconds, because it's already been 11 minutes and 57 seconds. So, I feel like I'm rambling, so I'm not trying to make this video an hour long, or over 15 minutes, so that is what I would just explain, because I've been trying to figure out what to tell people for a while now. So, and also, if I feel like I'm rambling, it's because it's 11:01 p.m. on a school night. So, see you guys in the next video. Good night.